Dark Moor the Wicked? I don't believe it. His territory ran from...
Welcome to our humble... Wait, are you Karlach? A lot of us were in Avernus. We saw you fighting. You were so good.
Well, yeah, I guess I was. I mean, you should avoid fighting for devils if you can. But if you can't, it helps to have a good right hook.
I saw you lay out a Moor demon in 2 hits. Bam! Bam! We were all like, whoa! How'd you learn to fight like that?
Had to. Life didn't put any punch up to me to learn to take a hit and deal one back.
I've been tossed around a lot too. I want to learn how to fight back too.
From the look of things, you've got your wits about you. A clever mind and a bit of style will take you a long way. Fight with those, and you may find you never need to use your fists at all.
In that case, want to buy a lucky ring I found?
Ha! Nice try, Shorty. Keep it up, though, and you'll be scamming with the greats in no time. It is, isn't it? Hope he makes it out of this mess with his wits in one piece. I'd like to see him set up in a proper home in the city. Every kid deserves that.
Premium... Check it out. We've gone legitimate, and Mole put me in charge. What do you need? I'm not supposed to mention it to anyone, but I do have something pretty special in stock. A key. What does it look like? What does it open? What treasures await behind its lock? That's for one lucky buyer to find out. Mole gave it to me, and said I shouldn't let it go to just any old jackaday. I mean, maybe. But she put me... Last Light's best bargains, right here! In the market for something special?
Thought you'd be 10 yards tall, the way Zevlor spoke of you. Ceres, Scout. Seems we missed one another at the Grove, but the others told me how you helped us. A pity. You pulled them from one death trap, only for me to land them in this one. Gone. And more than half the others with him. We were ambushed, out in the cursed lands. Cultists of this absolute. Zevlor froze, begged us to surrender. But they were toying with us, making examples. And we'd had enough of taking it. Those of us who cut free just kept running till we found this place. The others... maybe the cult got them. Maybe the curse. Zevlor had hope. It didn't save him. A little sense will serve us better, I think. But... thanks. It was sweet of you to try.
Best bargain!
Don't wander far. We need to talk.
Let the Duke rot in prison so he burns.
How goes the treasure hunt?
I haven't found anything yet, but I will. I can feel it.
No doubt. Just keep your eyes peeled, Jane.
She wants the same thing.
shy? Have a gander at the finest stock.
And I don't want to give you a lax.
Oh, you're all right. Thank goodness. I was worried they'd got you too. I keep replaying it. Over and over in my head. They lined us up like dogs. Asherak was with the kids, telling them it was going to be all right. Maybe that's why they picked him. Told him to kneel. They took his eyes first. Then his tongue. Roland, of all people, saved us. He said he stayed in the grove because of you. And I'm damn glad of it. Without him, well, none of us would be here. Yes. He shielded me and the kids, while his brother and sister rushed the cultists. Cal and Leah were dragged away, along with the others. Roland isn't taking it so well. None of us are, to be honest. How do you do it? How do you keep going? You're made of sterner stuff than me, then. You've done so much for us already. But I have to ask. The others might still be out there. If they're not dead, they're in Moonrise. And gods have mercy on anyone in that hell's pit. Thank you. If anyone can manage it, you can. Just be careful up there, all right? I can't handle anyone else dying.
Don't want any surprises.
Premium trinkets and doodahs.
There's another bottle of Arabellan Dry back there. Put it on the bar, then piss off and leave me alone.
Jaheira said we should serve drinks, but that we shouldn't serve drunks.
Jaheira didn't save your ragged little tail from the cultists. I did. They were. And you should have been there to hear their screams when they were dragged away. If you hadn't filled their heads with all that self-righteous, heroic crap at the Grove, none of this would have happened. They're my responsibility. You go save the world. Or your own arse. Or whatever it is you do. I'll fix this.
Premium trinkets and doodahs.
Please, be welcome. Have a drink. To your very good health.
You perceive a faint hint of cloth grass, a herb that is said to elicit the truth. Jaheira smiles at you knowingly.
It doesn't spoil the taste, if that's what you're wondering. Bottoms up. Well over a century old, and yet it hasn't lost a hint of flavor. Still not quite so sure about you, though. People tend to lose more than just flavor when illithids get their hands on them. I speak from experience. There's an air about you. Something alien. Answer me true and do not lie. The parasite is changing you. Isn't it? But a river can flood and break its banks. If the parasite changes you, tries to break you, could you resist? Look around you. Good men, good women. Stranded here, 2 feet in the grave. If we're to survive, I have no choice but to trust you. Can I? Good. Because I'll cross your heart myself if you break it. I have every reason to be cautious. I've traced people like you. People with parasites in their brains. All the way here from Baldur's Gate. The cult of the Absolute is spreading through the city. Quietly, quickly, and with unsettling deliberation. We tracked them to this ancient village, only to be faced with a man we killed and buried over a century ago. General Ketheric Thorn. Remember that name. He's the leader of the Absolutists. He was a Sharan once. Took to building an army of dark justiciars beneath this very village. Alongside the local druids, we made it our business to see him deposed, dead and buried. But he's returned. Not only does General Ketheric Thorn live again, it seems he is no longer mortal. He has become, in fact, invincible. We met him on the road here, commanding an army of the Absolute, intent on destroying Baldur's Gate. I put an arrow through his eye myself, only to watch him pluck it out like a splinter. He healed right in front of me and chased us into the shadows. Things looked hopeless, but experience has taught me that no matter how bleak things look, there's always hope. You are that hope. Protected by your artifact, you can infiltrate his forces at Moonrise Towers, posing as a true soul. Find out what it is that makes him invincible, so we can strip him of his advantage. Once Ketheric is without his shield, the sword, together we assault his tower and put a final end to this blight. I appreciate your enthusiasm. You leap before you look. Infiltrate the towers, and Ketheric's downfall begins. What's more, you'll find the cure for that thing in your head. Any cure starts with understanding the disease. Whatever magic Ketheric's using to control these tadpoles, it must be at Moonrise. Until then, we keep drinking wine when we meet. Before you go, there's somebody else you should meet. You're not our only secret weapon. Isobel, a faithful cleric of Selûne, and a light in the darkness. She cast the moon shield around the inn. It's the only reason we're still alive. She's upstairs in her chambers. Tell her I sent you, and she'll see you through the shadows safely. I'm sure it's very fine. But lanterns have a tricky habit of going out when you need them. Let's not spurn what few gifts the gods choose to give us, hmm?
Hiss! I say hiss! And yet you harm me by your very presence. This is my territory, and you're in it. I'll allow it. I slinked, of course. You've had enough, now go. Quickly, yes.
Your move, Maul.
You trapped me? I didn't even want to take this one.
Kalimshan rules, dear. The first piece touched is the first piece moved.
That's garbage! No matter where the night goes, I'm gonna lose it!
Then make the sacrifice useful. Guard your Mistra, or come for my Cyric.
What's going on here?
Look who made it! For once, I saved your butt out there, didn't I? We're square now, Chief. Say, do you play lance ball by any chance? It's my first time playing.
Always laid a fine trap for you, Mole. It looks to me like his Cyric could be dethroned.
My, the Thescan double counter gambit. Vicious. Exactly what I would have done.
How's that for Kalimshan rules?
Brava. Lovely work. I see I was right to make you the offer I did. You will consider it, won't you? What a lovely specimen she is. A blushing apple begging to be plucked.
Please let me smack this creep.
The Thescan move suggestion was inspired. I had no idea you played. Don't I? Indeed. But don't you worry about Moll. It goes without saying she still has the unconditional freedom to choose the only option she has left. Besides, I do enjoy being in this neighborhood again. It has such a rich history of abject tragedy. And tragedy, my friend, well, there's my bread and bloody butter. Why spoil it? It's all out there, waiting to be discovered. You never know what you might find if you just dig a little deeper. She won. She has a taste for it now. She'll be the one who comes to me. But enough about my lesser pursuits. Why bother with trifles when I'm in the illustrious presence of my very favorite client? Tell me, oh apple of my eye, how have you been? You don't have any gills to get green around yet, but you do look a little worse for wear in this light. All in good time, dear. See you soon.
Have a gander at the finest stock.
Begone!
patience.
He still won't speak. Just keeps going with the bloody song.
Nothing of use on his person.
His original writ of duty, signed by Eltan himself. Fella must be one of the very first Flaming Fist.
He must know something. Let's not give up on him yet. We believe the cultists have taken Duke Ravengard to Moonrise Towers. I don't suppose you found a way in. I trust you will do everything you can to free the Duke. But in case you don't find a way, I'll be heading to Baldur's Gate to seek reinforcements. The Council sent a carrier pigeon with news that the city has been dealing with absolutist attacks. The Steel Watch is holding strong. I'll request that Lord Gortash send some of them to aid in the fight against Moonrise. The curse won't harm them.
Holy shit. That's my old boss. The guy who sold me to Zariel.
You know the name Gortash, a counselor with considerable influence on Baldurian industry and politics. But he is no lord.
I half expect to die trying, but I prefer that to standing on the sidelines while you risk everything. My role here is limited. I can be put to better use convincing the Council to help rescue the Duke. With the Steel Watch at our backs, we can storm the tower whatever Ketheric throws at us, I'm sure of it. I'll do my best, but there's every chance I'll fall to the curse or the cult before I reach the city. Don't count on me and assume no aid is coming. Work with Jaheira. That Harper's mind is as sharp as her blade. Follow her guidance. Farewell. We'll meet again, God's willing.
The finest stock.
Oh, I could go for a good meal.
This place gives me the creeps.
Seen alleyways in Baldur's Gate that are plenty worse in their way.
Yeah?
Deep sight narrows at nighttime.
Have a lot on my mind.
And you're likely to become some...
So Gortash is a lord now. I'd like to clap eyes on this steel watch of his. I never really told you the story of me and Gortash, did I? Let me set the stage. The year, 10 Air. The place, sleepy little town called Baldur's Gate. Our hero, Karlach, a knock-knee delinquent from the outer city, with everything to give and nothing to lose. I was a kid looking for a way to fill my days and make some cash when I fell into the wrong crowd. Gortash. I respected him so much at the time. Turns out the feeling wasn't mutual. Through the jigs and the reels, he made a deal with Zariel behind my back. You know Zariel, right? Archdevil of Avernus. She put this thing in my chest and set me to work. I never found out what Gortash got in exchange. This is the kind of man who gets a title. Authority. Makes me sick. No. But they always seem to get it, don't they?
I wish we'd gear up and head out. All this standing around is making me antsy.
Got to have a plan first. Got to try... one.
I don't.
I do.
That's why we're still standing around.
That might be worth a look. This curse subverts all that is good in nature.
Your guilt.
The waning moon.
I am not people. Though many would question how wise it is to approach a stranger in the dark. Be on your way. A fair point. Perhaps this one could assist us. The murdered lie silent. The raven asks, will you be their voice? She is not the victim. Nay, she is the perpetrator. This woman tended a bar where she took her patrons, her friends, into her confidence, promised their secrets were safe with her. Yet she turned their words into knives and stabbed them in the back. They died because of her, and to this day her victims lie unavenged. Death is not the end, merely another beginning. I seek a record of this one's crimes, written in her own hand. Through it, I can summon her spirit and force her to face trial for her crimes. Go to the distillery, the one she calls the Waning Moon. Find the ledger and bring it to me.